is frightful to know how far people would go in order to stop what they believe to be evil. But it is even more frightful to acknowledge the severity of a mob mentality and the effects that it can have on a society. Prisons were filled, and villagers were lined up to be seen by the courts. The fear of being branded as a witch spread throughout the states. Husbands turned against their wives, friends turned against their friends, and neighbors turned against their neighbors, with nothing but fear fueling their actions. The entirety of Salem was at odds.
Salem was founded by Roger Compton in 1626. He, along with a group of settlers from Cape Ann, settled at the mouth of River Nomkeg. The land in which Salem was settled upon proved to be well endowed, for it offered a plentiful amount of fish. The fertile land was an added bonus, allowing Salem's citizens to harvest and stay sustained through the harsh winters. It was an ideal area to begin a settlement.
Religion was the cornerstone of Salem. The Puritans had an exceptionally strict interpretation of their religion. Their core beliefs centered around an emphasis of both the righteousness and sovereignty of God, and they did not hold their priests to the same standards as Catholicism. Rather, they were thought to be on an equivalent scale as the Congregation. The Puritans' views on salvation were derived from the Old Testament. They believed that every sin committed was reprehensible. Additionally, conformity was a social norm within the society, and any deviations from the established standards were frowned upon.
It all began with a lie that contorted into something beyond reason and beyond any expectations. Reverend Parris arrived with his daughter, Betty Parris, and niece, Abigail Williams, into the town of Salem. The girls upon arrival began having unnatural and violent fits. The girls would attest to being tormented by unseen forces, and their bodies would often contort into seemingly and unnatural positions. The girls attributed their fits to witchcraft, and 3 women were condemned as a result of this. One of the women, Tituba, was a slave who pleaded guilty due to her pressure from her master. Her testimony of witchcraft gave credibility to the afflicted girl's claim and intensified fear within the community. Many more children and women began to have fits after this, and a widespread panic has developed as a result. The initial cause for these fits can be credited to several explanations. But despite of the sudden seizures were real, witchcraft was seen as the only logical cause in that age.
The Salem witch trials were believed to be predominantly inflamed by mass hysteria raised by smallpox. Smallpox caused an alarming rate in children's death. The only explanation for this work was the witches.
Religion was a common factor of the hysteria. This raised an issue as people who didn't believe in the